On April 12, 1861, the initial shot echoed across Charleston Harbor in South Carolina. This pivotal event marked the very beginning of the American Civil War. The North opposed slavery, while the South depended heavily on its existence. At 4:30 a.m., a cannon was fired. The shell then exploded above Fort Sumter. The war began, and the attack on Fort Sumter deeply tore America's soul apart. Lincoln faced the 1860s, holding a broken nation together. Taking office March 4, 1861, Lincoln inherited a divided nation. 7 states seceded. His address pleaded for unity, reminding all that the Union was an unbroken bond. After Fort Sumter fell, war began. Lincoln called for volunteers to defend the Union. In 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring enslaved people free. Lincoln's leadership preserved the Union and paved the way for freedom. His legacy endures. By 1862, the Civil War was a sea of blood. Lincoln realized the conflict defined America's soul. For centuries, the country lived with a terrible contradiction: liberty and slavery. Lincoln decided to strike at the Confederacy, fighting for freedom. After Antietam, September 22, 1862, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation. January 1, 1863, Lincoln signed the proclamation, declaring enslaved people forever free. In 1863, the Civil War raged. Confederate General Lee led his army into Pennsylvania. On July 1st, Confederate troops clashed with Union cavalry west of Gettysburg. On July 2nd, assaults occurred on Union flanks, including Chamberlain's bayonet charge at Little Round Top. On July 3rd, Lee ordered Pickett's charge, where men advanced into Union fire, a failure. Gettysburg marked the Civil War's turning point, ensuring the Union's survival. The Civil War is known for battles and leaders. Ordinary soldiers faced horrors. They were young men, farmers, and laborers. Their lives: hunger, fear, survival. 1861, patriotic fever. Volunteers marched, believing the war short. Reality: mud, gunpowder, death. Camps, tents, shelters. Muddy ground, poor sanitation. Union rations: hardtack, pork, coffee. Confederate: cornbread, peas, nothing. Boredom: letters, carving, cards. Letters connected them. Soldiers marched heavy loads. Dusty or frozen roads. Songs like Dixie. Music: comfort. Battle unprepared them. Cannons, muskets. Death surrounded them. Fought for each other. Horrifying medical care. Disease killed more. Night, fear. Faith helped. Jokes were told. Brotherhood arose. Hope shared. Compassion shown. War never ended. Scars remained. Pride endured. Letters, a test. Courage and love. Endurance, a nation. Sacrifice defined. In 1861, war began. Behind the army, women. Mothers, wives, nurses, spies fought bravely. Their bravery shaped women's place in history. Women kept families alive. Life was a struggle. They managed farms, raised children. Southern women faced hunger, wrote letters. Northern women produced supplies in factories. They organized fundraisers, boosted morale. Nursing wasn't for women, but they helped. They cleaned wounds and comforted dying. Clara Barton brought supplies to battlefield. She founded the American Red Cross. Dorothea Dix organized Union's nurses. Sally Tompkins skillfully ran hospital. Some women disguised themselves. Sarah Edmonds served as soldier spy. Loretta Velasquez fought for Confederacy. Women risked death gathering secrets. Harriet Tubman was daring spy. Rose Greenough became Confederate spy. Elizabeth Van Lew was Union spy. They risked everything. In 1865, women changed. They proved strength. They managed farms, gathered intelligence. Their work opened doors. Civil War tested spirit. Bravery is compassion, sacrifice. They were unseen soldiers. Rose O'Neal Greenough, a Southern socialite living in Washington, D.C., became one of the Confederacy's most valuable spies. Using her position in high society, she gathered Union secrets and passed them to Confederate generals. Her messages helped the South win early victories, including the First Battle of Bull Run. She was eventually caught and imprisoned, but even behind bars, she continued sending coded notes. Elizabeth Van Lew, a wealthy woman from Richmond, took the opposite side. She was a Union spy in the heart of the Confederate capital. Pretending to be a harmless eccentric, she built a network of informants and even smuggled messages hidden in hollowed out eggs. Her information proved vital to Union intelligence. These women lived double lives, smiling by day, hiding secrets by night. One wrong move could have meant the gallows, yet they risked everything for the causes they believed in. When the guns finally fell silent in 1865, the women who had worked, fought, and suffered were forever changed. They had proven their strength, intelligence, and courage. Many had done what society once said was impossible for women. They had managed farms, run hospitals, gathered military intelligence, and even fought in battle. Their work opened doors for future generations. Nursing became a respected profession. Women's organizations grew stronger. And the idea that women could serve their country in many ways became a lasting truth. The Civil War was not only a struggle between North and South, it was a test of the human spirit. The women who lived through it taught the world that bravery is not found only on the battlefield, but also in compassion, sacrifice, and the will to endure. They were the unseen soldiers, the silent heroes who fought with hearts instead of rifles, and whose courage helped shape the soul of a nation reborn. By 1865, Civil War raged, cities burned. Confederate states broken, Union forces closed in. Southern independence dying. Lincoln's death cast shadow. Confederate Army weak. Richmond under siege. General Lee knew end. Troops surrounded. Davis urged fight South weak. Southern nation collapsing. Lee, Richmond evacuated tonight. Fires broke. Union entered Richmond. Lincoln walked Richmond. Kneel to God, advised. Lee's army escaped, Grant cut off. Lee decided peace. Met Grant. Grant's terms generous. Lee accepted. War over. Grant ordered silence. Moment mercy. Lee's surrender reached Washington. Booth plotted revenge. Wanted save South. Lincoln attended play. Booth slipped box. Fired shot. Lincoln slumped unconscious. Escaped. Doctors took President boarding house. Lincoln took final breath. Stanton, he belongs ages. Booth fled. Soldiers cornered. Booth refused. Barn set fire. Booth fell. Assassin brought grief. Lincoln's body carried train. Millions lined tracks. Lost president. Lincoln. Malice toward none charity. Civil War ended. Slavery abolished. Cost unimaginable. South rebuilt. Lincoln's vision endured. Union survived.